Walter?
Thank you, ma'am. It is the City of Moscow Parks and Rec Department, and it is a program within that the City Council has set up. My strong suspicion is that the persons that are using the program from quite a distance are using it as something of a babysitting program. I don't have any idea who these people are, but I'm just wild guessing that they're not being driven in on a special trip from Albion to come to 18 programs. I'm guessing that a parent works in Moscow. When I first moved to Lewiston in 1978, I had two young girls, 7 and 11, and I had a full-time job, and I needed a place to park them. And I parked them at the girls' club. I had an 8-year-old that could shoot pool with the best of them. I don't remember that it was any out-of-pocket cost for me to do that, but at some point in the future, I put my time in as president of the girls' club. So I suspect that's what's occurring here. Is that what we want to fund? And if so, we do it. I mean, the body glove $1,000 donation came about because it was a City of Moscow Parks and Rec application for a fund to a program they had. They weren't told it'll go to non-residents. They weren't told it'll go only residents. They just gave $1,000 to the Moscow Parks and Rec, and staff apparently, and that's okay, no problem, said we'll use this for residents and non-residents.
Because it wasn't specified.
Because it wasn't specified residents only. I suspect that might be with other donations that they expect they're going to the City of Moscow and not knowing they're going to others. If the Elks Club wishes to fund children to your golf event or program, you could do that directly. The staff could certainly advise them to apply directly to the Elks for a pass or to pay for it.
That wouldn't work for the Elks.
Well, it's just a thought. As Dwight has said, we can talk this circle all night long. So I'm going to make a motion in order to move this thing forward, and if it won't pass, then we will work it a while longer. I would make a motion and that we restrict scholarship eligibility to City of Moscow residents only. Secondly, that we add a tagline to the Parks and Rec online registration page asking if persons would like to donate. Third, that staff budget for full scholarship program cost and actually pay Parks and Rec for awarded scholarships, including pool passes. That is my motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have Walter's motion and Tim's second. Discussion, please.
I think I'd go for it with leaving out the pool passes, but because as I said, I think that's an expense anyway. So.
May I reply?
Sure, please go ahead.
It is, but it's an in and out within the city books. It just accounts for it. I cannot accept that there's not some point where another body in that pool costs somebody some money. The more bodies you have in that pool, the more often you have to work the water. If you have that pool going and you put 3 people in it for 6 weeks, you may, and I don't know the data, but you're not going to have to change that water and work that water as hard as you are if there are 3,000 people in it every day. There is a cost. We budget for the pool, if I may. We budget money for the pool. I've complained for years we over budget for the pool. We never have to subsidize it to the extent that we've got money set aside for it. I see this as the opposite side of the same coin. It's starting to budget for the scholarship program where we haven't budgeted for it before. We have had a number. When Dwight exceeds it, he goes beyond it, and he comes back and reports to us we're going beyond it. Thank you.
Yeah, I foresee that budgeting the pool passes into this process is going to skyrocket the scholarship program costs. That's what I foresee. But I also think it's going to tell us all what it costs to run the actual cost of what it takes to run the youth scholarship program. Although I didn't say it prior to discussion, I have felt that there should be a cap on the amount of dollars that the scholarship program funds for the programs that have an actual cost, i.e., the lessons that we give, and not, I mean, there is a cost to run the pool, but I think Dwight is, in general, correct when he says that whether there's 300 kids in the pool or 450, the cost of running the pool is about the same. Hard to measure the difference, but the cost of when a child goes and plays, signs up for a soccer camp or whatever the camps are, and there's a direct cost of the city to pay the instructor for the number of kids that are participating, those are the kinds of things that personally I think there should be a cap on. So I second the motion. I'm going to vote aye on the motion as read, but I am concerned or interested in some time, and I'm sure the fact that the pool passes are now going to be included, we're going to see a gigantic spike in the cost next year.
So, Tim, do you have a cap, a dollar amount in mind or a percentage figure in mind that you're proposing for this cap? Because you could certainly put forward an amendment to the motion.
Well, I can come up with a number, but that isn't, I mean, I just threw that out because I had the table.
You still do. So I mean,
if you feel
if
it later on in the
well,
discussion,
we're here now. So you're talking
Aha.
about it. Do you want to put some idea forward for the council's consideration?
Well, let's see. We were at 18 approximately.
Yes.
The pool passes will jump it up. I'll guess what, 10 more.
I'm not sure we're talking the same thing. The pool passes are now already included. What the Parks and Rec Commission was requesting to take it out. So the 18,000 already includes the pool passes.
All the people.
We've been accounting for it all along.
That's, I think, what went from 11 to 18.
Okay. Well, then let's just go 20, just for the sake. But this isn't part of the motion, so when we get to that point, I guess I'll rest on 20 as a max.
Oh, this is for FY14, so that'll happen in the budget process
Right.
anyway.
But that's
Right.
not part of the motion.
No. No. Okay.
So-
Tom, you had some comment?
Oh, I was like Sue said she was going to go for it except for the one piece. I wanted to say that I'd go for it except for the restricting of non-residents out of it.
How about Latah County?
I'd go with Latah County if that were part of it, but I haven't heard that being part of it.
I'm just
No,
discussing.
the motion is, and Walter, you tell me if I paraphrase this incorrectly, but was for Moscow residents only, that the tagline would be added for requesting donations.
Yeah, I like that part.
Or offering that choice, and that the budget would be for the full costs with the Parks and Rec being paid essentially by the city coffers, including the pool passes. Okay, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Other discussion? Everybody understand what the motion is? Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll start this roll call vote with you, Tim.
Aye.
No.
I
Aye. No.
It sounds like the ayes have it. Yeah, that's right. We can't vote tonight because we have an uneven number. Okay, sounds like you got your message.
I'm very disappointed.
You're
I
disappointed?
really am.
Okay. So, Dwight, you need any other direction from the city council?
No. Just remember, this is an ongoing thing. We can tweak when we get to it the next time as well.
We'll be addressing it in the FY 2014 budget, no doubt.
No doubt. That's right.
No doubt.
Thank you. And I know that this had to have been a stressful conversation for our Parks and Rec commissioners because they're compassionate people who think hard about what's good for kids in our area. So please convey our appreciation for their hard work.
Thank you.
Wayne?
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and make a statement that one of the most disappointing votes that I've seen this city council make is to exclude county resident children from the scholarship program. And I do think that there should have been a cap put on that, Tim, and I would have voted along with that. I really thought that that motion was going to fail, so I'm really disappointed that it didn't.
Walter?
That's all I have to say.
In light of the mayor's comment and Wayne's comment, remember that the restrict scholarship eligibility recommendation came from the Parks and Recs Commission. We didn't make it up sitting here. And I would agree that the Parks and Rec Commission has the welfare and the benefit of the children of Moscow and the whole area at heart, as do every one of us sitting at this table. So this had nothing to do with anything other, in my mind, having made the motion, than trying to get a handle on what this program is really costing, and so that we can decide, we can open it back up next year. We can open it up to Latah County. We can open it up to anybody that walks in the door if we want to, as long as we've got some real numbers to know what's actually going on.
And it would have been a lot easier, a lot better way to do that. And the only reason that they came across with this recommendation, Walter, was because back in December, we told them to come up with something. Then let's drop it.
They still want to talk. It's all right. It's all right.
That's enough.
Dwight, I do have a question for you. If someone were to donate, $2,500 and say, I want this money to go toward scholarships for county kids, could you receive that money for that purpose or not?
Well, I think that it goes against the policy that you just set.
So would you just decline then?
I think I'd probably call Gary.
I think we'd put it on the next administrative committee.
On the
probably
next
come through
administrative
council.
committee. Okay, just a thought. Thank you.
Put it
All
on the
right.
next meeting.
So guess what? We have another presentation. This sounds like I'm glad that people care about this. This is important stuff.
Well, I was just discussing city funds, and I have no problem with people making donations for county kids, or the county even putting
Well,
it.
that's why.
So those who were on the prevailing, it could happen that you could make a motion
All
for
right.
reconsideration,
I
those
will-
on the prevailing
I-
side.
I-
Accurate?
I
Correct?
will make a motion to reconsider.
Second.
Same meeting? Can you do that at the same meeting, Randy?
We're just debating it.
We'll
Randy
just double
gave
check.
us
We'll
the
just
big-
double check
Randy
that.
just gave us the big speech
I think
about the other
we
day
have done-
about
we
how
have
if
done
it's
that in the
something
past.
you really want to do, you could do it.
Weren't we talking about a circle?
It's possible, but but we're checking. I think we have done this in the past. As a matter of fact, I think it was my first ever meeting, and that was how we extricated ourselves
Question
from
for Gary
that
before he
problem.
reads in the dark too much. Gary, would a motion be in order to allow staff to accept specific outside donations for non-resident children be in order tonight, at this time?
Well, as Dwight indicated, you've just passed a policy. So,
My comfort level would be greater if we just had started clean.
Yeah.
If the
You
motion
could have
for
a reconsideration
and we
motion
had
if you
we
like.
had a motion, we had a second.
The second was by no vote. I'm not sure you can do that.
Oh no, it has to be one of the prevailing side.
it
So
does.
the people who voted aye, and Sue was among them,
I made
can
the
make
motion
the
to
motion.
reconsider.
Do we have somebody who was on the aye side who wants to have reconsideration of that was just passed? And hearing none, then it's not going anywhere. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for trying.
A comment, if I may?
Yes, please.
I personally would be willing to open up outside donations for non-residents as to a policy. If you want to run it back through whichever committee you wish to vet that. My reason for not being willing to second the reconsideration is opening up the entire can of worms, which I did not want to do.